Well, we're getting started for Wadeh Wednesday. We're going to talk about double life and the Arab community and what that means. And as you're starting to be here, it's really important that this just isn't noise, that it's not just words. I'm going to encourage everyone to use this time for self-reflection, like deep self-reflection. And really ask yourself as you go through this live and as we go through these topics that we go through as a culture, to really go within yourself and ask yourself, what does all this mean to me? With all the social media, all the consumption, I think what's happening in our world is there's a lot of noise and a lot of words, but not a lot of integration into what all this means to individuals. So today's Wadeh Wednesday. I want to have each and every person become a part of this for themselves, and then collectively we can really rise above around why do we live a double life? Why are we at the point where we live a double life? Okay, so for those that are joining in, give Mira and I, we're going to have a few minutes to get set up. Welcome everybody. Hi Mira.
Hi, how are you?
Well, I guess it's sabah al khair for me.
It's صباح الخير for you and مساء الخير for me.
Masa al khair. Okay, now do you think I need a microphone? Oops. Maybe not.
It's okay.
All right, no microphone.
It's clear. Your voice is clear.
Okay, that's good. Okay, can you take a look at the background? Make sure I know
Yeah,
you can tell
the
me the
background is
backup.
the
Send me.
background is good, but can you just go back a little bit or move the phone back a little bit?
Yeah, I will go back a little bit.
Yeah,
How's
that's
that?
perfect. That's perfect.
Okay. All right. How are we doing? People joining in? Where are people joining in from? Today we're going to talk about, are you living a double life? Who are you in relationship to your family and your private life and your public life? Who are you? And is there confusion in that? Last week on Wadeh Wednesday, we did double life, and thank you to everybody who commented, supported one another. This video went very nice it was right, Mira? Didn't that video kind of go a little bananas online?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. So thank you to everybody. Today we're going to do part 2. So I'm not going to go over what we did on part 1. You can find that video on my YouTube channel. You're more than welcome to take a look at it. Today is how do we cope with living a double life within our Arab culture. So for those that are joining, my name is Tiffany Totah. I'm a marriage and family therapist out here in Los Angeles, California. Palestinian American, for those that are interested in knowing that. Bahkish Arabi, bas shwaya. I have my amazing assistant with me, Mira. Where are you coming in from?
I'm joining from Egypt.
Woo! Any Egyptians in the house? Anybody on the live from Egypt? All right. Let's see. I think we have somebody from Chicago. Love that. Anybody else? People that are coming in. We're going to talk about living a double life, how to cope with living a double life. Oh, hi, 444 from Kuwait. Woo. Good to see you. I think you've been on before. Cameroon is in the house. All right. Before as people are starting to hop on, we'll give them maybe one more minute. I wanted to use this time to reflect that we are in very difficult times right now. And there's so many people struggling. There's so much heavy, difficult energy. I wanted to send a shout out to all our sisters and brothers for Sudan. We are thinking of you, all our sisters and brothers for Palestine. Our sisters and brothers anywhere in the Arab world who are suffering, that this community is going to uphold our light so that we can shed light to them. Many times we feel powerless to what we can do to things outside of ourselves, our families, our governments, our countries. And this is why this community, Nawar to Nawar, that if each of us accessed our own light, in whatever that means to you, that if we all came together in healing, that we will be able to shift all this gunk, garbage that's happening in our world today. Because we are being called, these systems are starting to change. People want to live peacefully, and unfortunately, all the stuff that we've been suppressing and burying is now coming up. And so what do we do with that? We can stay present and we can match it. What I mean by matching is we can stay in our victimhood, or we can say, I am going to uplift myself and I'm going to embrace my own light so that the negative energy and dark forces and all these things that are out there are not going to impact us, that we are stronger than that. We are better than that. Our light within each and every one of us is quite powerful. And that's why when I talk about how to cope with living a double life, it's not just going to be for you. It's going to have an impact, a ripple effect. It's like the pebble that you throw in a pond. And then it just goes out in that ripple effect, that when I can access my light, Mira can access her light. In turn, we're giving what we know to give to you. And then you access your light. We never lose our light. But what's happening is we're in systems in a world that wants to keep us from our light by keeping us in shame, keeping us in violence, keeping us in all these things. And what we're doing is slowly we're removing these layers to say, no, you are not going to win. That what always wins is the light. Okay? That always wins. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care where you are in the world. It does not matter, because it is in the unity of the light that we overcome anything. Okay? You guys ready to get started?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome. All right. Woo! Okay. Nita, how are we doing in the comments? Is everyone joining? You think we should ready to go? Let's do this.
Let's do that.
All right. So as we know, in many Middle Eastern families, we're taught to protect the family's image. And last week we talked about not to, actually 2 lives, we talked about not to air out the dirty laundry. We were taught to mabtihkush, to honor our culture and parents above all. Now what happens? Excuse me. While these values come from love and tradition, they can also cause many of us to hide parts of who we really are. Now, from the comments, there are so many people that resonated with this. You may hide your emotions. your relationships, your dreams, your struggles. This is sometimes, again, called living a double life. Today, we're going to reflect on that with honesty and compassion. Be honest with yourself and have compassion, because living a double life, last week we talked about the emotional toll, and it's a lot. So compassion is key. I'm going to ask a question to each of you. Now, take a deep breath. What did you learn growing up about what was okay to share and what must be kept in private? Okay? What did you learn growing up about what is okay to share and what must be kept private? Anybody in the comments want to share their experience? What did you learn growing up about what was okay to share or not? Mira, what about your family? What was okay to share?
Anything good, anything that we're proud of is okay to share. Anything that's like that doesn't have to do with the cultural norms and expectations is not okay to share.
That's right. Let's see. Sitting road. Okay to share any family wins. Private would be like violence or fights. Yeah, thank you. Exactly. In my family, and I don't know if this is a generational thing, my grandfather didn't even want us sharing the wins. He was like, "بحطوا العين علينا. تحكوش el wins." I go, so we can't say wins. We can't say
That's right, actually. Yeah.
تحكوش ولا إشي. ولا ندفع. Really? طيب انت. That's for another story about talking about a double life. And last week we talked about the secrets of the family. Okay, so how did it feel to keep those parts of yourself private? Okay? How does it feel? Think about, how do you feel when you're living this double life? What are some feelings that come up for you? Okay? What are some feelings that come up? I know I felt many times all throughout my life like shame, deep shame. Even with the wins, there was deep shame. I would also feel angry because here's all this nonsense that's happening in the family, and then they're carrying on like, oh, كل شيء منيح, شوفوا أنا. Those aunties that like to pretend كل شيء منيح. I used to get really angry. I'm like, Auntie بتطلعي علينا. Look at your own house. Yeah, Rania, anxious, heavy-hearted. That's right. It is very heavy. So you wonder why you get panic attacks or anxiety attacks. Because it's a heavy weight to carry. Okay, so let's move into how do we cope with living a double life? The number one thing, because we live in a culture where false pretenses, everybody looks good, yet behind it is for you to acknowledge the truth within yourself without judgment. Simply living a double life doesn't mean you're fake or weak. Let me say that again. Just because you live a double life, it doesn't mean you are being fake or weak. It often means you are surviving in a system that doesn't make room for all of you. That's why what we're seeing, all this stuff happening in our world, these systems are getting unearthed. A lot of the Arab families are the younger generation is saying, we need to take a look at this system. That's why we have an increase in mental health issue, increase in families being cut off. And it's interesting. They say, oh, it's the influence of the West. No, it's the influence of you all these years suppressing your children, and emotional suppression. It's not a West thing. That's a human thing. Yeah, more divorces. Exactly. Because people are saying enough's enough. Now, we want to honor the wisdom behind your choice in living a double life. If you're hiding certain parts of yourself, let us honor that's a wise choice for you in a culture that it may not be safe for you to reveal all those parts of you. Okay? So honor the wisdom within you. And ask yourself, okay, what parts of me am I hiding and why? Why? Who taught you that you were unacceptable? So I'm going to ask, what parts of you are you hiding and why? So I'll ask some reflective questions and think about this for you. Are you hiding parts of yourself? Are you afraid of the haki? Are you afraid of the gossip? Are you protecting the elders in your family from worry or disappointment or maintaining harmony in the family? Are you a man acting stoic in the midst of intense pressures to provide? More often than not, Arab men in our families, not only are they taking care of their parents, they may be responsible for taking care of their siblings, their own family, meaning their wives and their children. And there's an intense amount of pressure to provide, but yet he has to present stoic and not look like anything is happening, and that pressure on the body can be very intense. With that said, are you a woman hiding your resentment to be a selfless caregiver to individuals you cannot stand? I watched my aunts and different women in my Arab community that were taking care of parents who abused them and harmed them, or they were responsible for an uncle who harmed them. And I will spare you the ways in which they were harmed, but let me say it was horrific. And they had to look beautiful, look put together, caring for people that caused them intense harm. How much did they have to hide? Parts of themselves, their rage. Are you afraid of being disowned, which happens quite often, harmed or forced into a marriage to suppress or hide your gender identity or queerness? How many are forced in that? Like, I'm either going to be disowned, I might be harmed, or I might be forced into a marriage. And I've received multiple comments, DMs around that. And that's horrific. And if you're afraid, well, honor that wisdom within you. Are you minimizing conflict to avoid alienation from your community for questioning your faith? It does not matter your faith. Okay? You may have, I've worked with people where they had to pretend to participate in religious practices, yet for themselves, they had to choose. They didn't believe in anything. So they had to live this lie. They were hiding it because if they expressed any opinion, and I mean any opinion, even questioning, they were shunned greatly. And in some cases, causing divorce. All right, are you suffering in silence, hiding emotional pain behind the smiles and perfectionism? I see this so much. Everyone looking good, puts in together. Oh, look at us, workaholics, we're working hard. Yet you go home, you're in bed, panic attacks, depression, disassociation, you leave your body. These are This is what happens, but we have to suffer in silence. And that's why I created this community, so we don't have to suffer in silence. Are you the person packing extra clothes in the backpack to wear what you want? Are you hiding a tattoo or a piercing or maybe even a hobby? And it could be as simple as art or music. Oh, why are you doing that? So you're hiding that because it's something you cherish or something you feel good about, and you hide it because they're gonna make fun of you for it. So honor the wisdom within you to say, I'm acknowledging I'm living a double life, and this is the one thing for me, and that's okay. Now, I hear this a lot. And growing up, when I was younger, I was one that did not care. I was like, I'm like 13, 14 in Milisan, right? But are you someone who's afraid of what the Nas will say? Again, I don't judge that, because the Nas can be cruel and they could be mean and they could create a lot of problems. And guess what? That Nas could be your mom or your dad or your sister or brother or the people closest to you. Now, the reason why we hide, there's two main reasons why we hide, is shame and rejection. Are you any of the above? Any of the questions? Again, acknowledge the truth without judgment, to say, I'm afraid of being alienated from my family. And just say, that's okay. You can live your double life because it's okay to want to belong. Okay? Number 2, you want to name the emotions you carry. Now, we have a lot of emotional suppression in our culture. One of the things in working with our Middle Eastern, our Arab community, that I've noticed is you may not even know what you're feeling, because that emotional suppression is so strong. Living in two realities. Some of you even said quadruple realities or a million realities. You guys were quite funny in the comments. But living in two realities can bring up anxiety, shame, guilt, loneliness, or even resentment. Giving those emotions a name helps release some of their power. So I'm going to ask some questions as we talk about how to cope with living with a double life. You need to name the emotions you're holding. So you're living a double life. Are you internalizing a belief that you are wrong or bad? Are you feeling guilty for not being the good daughter or the obedient son? Are you afraid of being found out or exposed? This I see a lot. And people are terrified of that. And within some cultural contexts, I will validate that for you. You need to be afraid. Okay? Are you afraid to lose family ties and community belonging? We come from a collective culture. We were born and bred with community. And now you live a life that they may not accept. So you go from family and community to no one. That's terrifying. And that could be profoundly lonely. And you want to name that for yourself. You need to feel it to heal it. Do you fear rejection, judgment, or punishment? Now, this happens in our romantic partnerships. You're with your partner and you've been living this double life and you're hiding yourself. Are you hiding yourself to your romantic partner because you're afraid he or she might reject you or judge you or even punish you. And so this what creates this lack of intimacy between couples, because they're coming in with all of their shame around not being seen in their own families. How much overthinking you do to maintain the mask. So many of you said it's exhausting, because it is. That constant, oh, okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to, oh, let me hide, let me this, oh my God, shafu ishi, and you wonder why you become anxious, because you're constantly thinking how you're going to live these two lives. That exhaustion is going to take you from fully living the life that you deserve. And then this causes, do you experience stress from navigating multiple identities? The big one that I see in naming the feeling, which is so important, is, are you mourning the loss of being fully known and accepted? I know, working with Arab in the LGBT community, the mourning of the loss, it's horrific. And that's a lot of what many of you, or if you married someone that you didn't want to be married to, it's grieving the loss. And sometimes admitting that can feel very overwhelming, and I want to acknowledge that. I also want to say, you, unless you feel the grief, you're going to have a hard time with this. And it's okay to grieve. So many of us grieve the mother that we didn't have, the father we didn't have, grieve what's happened to our families, mourning the loss that you can't wear a certain thing or be a certain way. And that's why I'm trying to change this. I'm trying to help each and every one of us. Can we shift that so that people don't have to mourn the loss of being fully known and accepted? I see this a lot in the comments. Are you physically close to your family, yet you feel distant? It's like you're there, you're at the family gatherings, you're playing the game, yet you feel completely distant because they only see one aspect of you. And sometimes that's okay, and that's adaptable. But again, that also can be, you're in a group of people and you could still feel profoundly lonely. So reflect upon the part of you that you're hiding. Reflect the part of you that you're hiding. And I'll encourage you that if you're feeling stuck or in a cycle where you feel like there's no way out, or you're feeling misunderstood, to talk to somebody that you can trust, because your story, who you are, is important to be seen and recognized by another person. Okay? How are we doing in the comments? Mira?
We don't have comments, but people are relating.
Oh, good. Okay, so should I keep going? Somebody wrote, so why do they matter? Mute spitter. Look, I see this so much. It's very easy for us to say, why do they matter? We come from a collective culture. And so I see this a lot with the younger generation. I'm cutting them off, let it go. Okay, you can cut them off and you can say they don't matter, but are you reflecting on the impact on you? Because this has nothing to do with them at some point, and it has everything to do with you. Is your light being dimmed as a result of they don't matter, or I'm cutting them off? I can almost guarantee, doing the work that I've done for as long as I have done, that some aspect of your life is being impacted as a result of that cutoff, or as a result of not feeling your feelings or mourning the loss. And you may grieve this loss throughout your entire lifespan because it morphs when you have your own children and what they may be missing out on of having a connected and loving grandmother or grandfather. So please reflect upon yourselves and say, the part of me I'm hiding feels, and fill in the blank. It feels whatever it is. Because so many of you make sacrifices out of love and duty. And our mothers and fathers sacrificed out of this love and cultural obligation, but at what cost to future generations? Okay. All right. So let's review. Number 1, acknowledge the truth within yourself that you are living a double life without judgment. Number 2, you want to name the emotions you carry. Number 3, and this is why we built this community. However, outside of this social media community, find or build safe spaces. And it could be 1 or 2 people. I know growing up, there was like 5 of us. We huddled together, 5 Banat Arab, doing terrible things, right? And even till this day, we're all still friends because that's how we roll. We were safe spaces. So you need places where you don't have to perform, where your nervous system can relax into who you want to be. Okay. So whether it's online, in therapy, or with a few close friends, seek out community that affirms your whole identity. And I don't mince this when I say it can be life-saving. It could literally, having that one person can give your nervous system peace. Because the more you stay under chronic stress, the more it develops into, at some point, autoimmune disease, cancers. There's plenty of studies that show that. So, or you may go down a life of addiction. So when you find or build safe spaces where you could fully be seen with your whole identity, it literally could save your life. Safe spaces give you a chance to breathe. Let's all take a deep breath. It gives you a chance to breathe, to be seen, and to heal the wounds within you without fear of judgment or punishment. So when I'm sitting in space, whether it's with a friend or a cousin, and they're terrified, they're shaking, like I want to say this thing of like what I've been hiding. And I said, no matter what you say to me, there will be no judgment. And more often than not, just in speaking their truth, the body starts to relax, the tears may flow, and there's no greater healing than sitting in space with someone that sees you. And rarely do we have that with our families of origin, in our own families. So when you have someone present to you, I remember a couple weeks ago, a friend of mine invited me to a party, and it was gay Arab men coming, it was like a party. I said, well, why are you inviting me? But anyway, we went and we had a good time. And I was sitting in the corner because I also wanted to give space, right? And there was nothing more beautiful than to see these men living the fullness of who they are in community. It was beautiful. And I thought, how wonderful would it be if in future generations that that they could do this within their own families, to bring their partner, to share in our beautiful wedding celebrations, or watching a beautiful Arab woman who is just wearing whatever she wants, so that, and nobody judging her, and she could just be free to dance, to be in her feminine energy and her power without being mocked or called a whore. Because these are the things we say to each other when we wonder why we don't have safe spaces. Because I've heard these comments at weddings. So first, you want to define what safe means to you. Do I need emotional safety, physical safety, cultural safety, which is, I hope, what we give you here, and confidentiality. Whenever there's Tiffany, please don't say anything, like with my cousins or, family, they share something very deep. Don't say anything, please, please. And the look of panic. I said, don't worry. It's confidential. Or even as a clinician, as a therapist, I tell my Arab clients, I am bound by ethical law. I'm not going to risk my job, my 25-year career, to gossip my wahda fil urna. Like, I'm not going to do that. I value what I do. But that's why a lot of Arab don't go to therapists or even Arab therapists, because they're afraid, especially if it's a small community, that they may be found out. So this is where culturally responsive therapists are really good, and you need to vet them, because I've heard stories too where confidentiality was broken. Okay, so define what safety means to you. Seek out culturally sensitive mental health support. Now we have the Arab Therapist Directory, the link. Mira, is the link in the bio?
In the bio.
Yeah, but with that said, again, you want to interview these people. Just because they're Arab does not necessarily mean they're a good therapist, okay? But nonetheless, they're there. You want to also, if you are estranged from your family, you've been living this double life, let's say you came out, or let's say you married somebody that your family doesn't approve of, and you now have been rejected or abandoned by your family of origin, like the family you were born into, it's important for you to build your chosen family. Now, again, sometimes that comes with loss, but we can create our own families with friends. If blood family isn't emotionally safe, which many of them are not, create your chosen family with neighbors, community members, outside of that, people who accept the whole of you, all of you. Friends with similar backgrounds, living with dual identities. I was loving the comments when people were sharing, they were creating their own community within the comments. Hey, follow me and let's get together and let's exchange numbers. And because everyone in that thread were Arab, living dual identities. And that was wonderful to see. Also, you can have supportive coworkers or mentors. The point is, we cannot live this life alone. You may think you can live this life alone, but as human beings, our inherent part of our DNA is belonging, connection, safety. And so find that. It may take a while, and find a community in shared struggles, and that could be support groups, online communities. With that said, I always say lurk first. Is that a Gen Z, like lurking? Is that right, Mira? Lurking?
I don't know it.
Tayyib, I think my binti, it's called mom, they're lurking. I go, shoot, lurking. So, but lurking means you want to first go in, be an observer, observe the dynamics, make sure you feel safe before you participate. Okay. Now we do have a support group that's starting on Friday, this Friday, 2 days from now, and it's from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. This support group, even though you won't be able to lurk, but everyone's been vetted in this group. We're really excited. It's for 4 weeks. The link is in the bio. It would be a wonderful place for you to get support and do a lot of self-reflective work. So if you're interested, please go. Mira, is that right?
Yeah, this is Ariana news for today. Yeah, it starts August 8th, and we need 3 more people to make it happen. So if you've been thinking about it, now it's your moment. DM us
Now
your
is the
email.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, now is the time. So how can you join? You could go to the link in the bio. It will take you to workshops and you could register there. It's starting in 2 days.
I'm
So,
sorry, it's the link in the bio, it's the link tree. It's going to take you to the website,
okay.
and you can find it on the website.
See, that's why I have an assistant. عشان أنا مش عارفة these things. Okay, let's keep going. So we were talking about creating safe spaces for you. Now, one of the things I love about our Middle Eastern community is the amount of creativity that we have. So this is where you want to create private expression. So it could be art, poetry, music to express what you can't say out loud. Private rituals that affirm your truth. It could be affirmations in the morning or a morning routine, or maybe wearing something that you feel really good in and you give that private space to yourself. Journaling, because I don't know about you guys, but Arab parents can be very nosy. Arab siblings can be very, like, they want to hide and they want to get in your business. So if you do journal, I'll encourage you to use digital locked files if you can, or if you're writing it on paper, to burn it. Do not leave journals in your room unless you live alone. And even then, they come in and they're like, oh, Eshada, oh, I was reading this. Just be careful with journaling. I know American, they love journaling. I go, Muhu, Entu, you guys love journaling. You don't know the Arab. You write something, they'll be in your business in 2 minutes. Okay. How are we doing? Good? Okay. Number 4, to how to cope with living a double life, is practice what we call micro authenticity. So you don't need to come out or expose everything all at once. And when I say come out, it could be meaning anything. Practice by showing parts of your true self in small, safe moments. So I know when aunties were berating me why I wasn't married or what happened or Ishmaeli or whatever they were saying, it's about, instead of doing the, oh, auntie, I would, I'm not comfortable talking about marriage right now. So you assert yourself in small ways. I have tattoos, full disclosure. I hid them for forever. And then finally I would just wear something and then they would see it. Yay! And then you get the yees and the siyah and all that. And then over time, they got over it. You can also not be that way. You can wear what feels authentic when you're away from home. But you may want to practice a little bit with your family, if you can, to test the waters and see what happens. Another piece is maybe admitting when you're struggling with your mental health. Sometimes if you come from an open family system in the way you communicate it, that might be important. But micro authenticity is just showing a little bit of yourself. Test the waters, see how they respond. And if they respond okay, then maybe open up a little bit more. But only you can answer that for yourself. Anybody have any examples of micro authenticity? All right. Well, let's keep going. I've got a few more. Oh my gosh, I always have so much information. I got to go through the next ones quickly. Number 5, you need to learn grounding tools for emotional regulation. So deep breathing, cold water in your hands, placing both feet on the ground, and reminding yourself, I am safe. I am safe. Now, you could be in a family gathering. You're getting really anxious. You want to go to the breath and tell yourself internally, I am safe. I am safe right now. Now, the reason why we use the words, I am safe right now, is because your nervous system is feeling threatened for good reason. You're not feeling safe. You're living a double life. You're hiding yourself. So your nervous system is getting anxious. And you say, I am safe right now. Double life equals constant performance equals emotional burnout. Now, you cannot combat emotional burnout until you have the tools, which are learned tools, to help you ground, to minimize the spike shame. It's I am okay. I am safe. I am healthy. I am whole. And then number 6, you want to set boundaries without guilt. Now, we live in a culture where we breathe and we feel guilty. You are not obligated. Let me repeat this. You are not obligated to explain everything to everyone. Boundaries protect your peace while you're figuring things out. Now, it's easy for me on the other end to look so confident. I've got this covered. I had boundaries. Hey, she's strong. No, this was 30 years in the making for me to be able to do this here for you, that I felt guilty my whole life, most of my life. I felt intense shame. I got involved in all kinds of living this double life was not healthy for me in many ways. And I had to learn the hard way. That's why I'm doing this, for you not to learn the hard way. Get the tools, set the boundaries without guilt. Tell your family, I'm not ready to talk about that. This is personal. I'm asking you to respect my privacy. Matthew, I got privacy, right? Well, I don't know what to tell you. Or no, thank you is a full sentence. No is a full sentence. But what happens is, because we're living this double life, we're in this shame. I see this a lot with, we over-explain, constantly over-explaining. I say, no, not interested. And they're going to wait for you to explain. You just nod and breathe through the discomfort. So set boundaries without guilt. Number 7, you want to reframe your story, because what we tell ourselves is not true. We tell ourselves we're bad, we're wrong, some of us, for women, like we're whores for doing any of it. And these are words, I'm sorry if it's so intense, but this is the things we tell ourselves. Or for the guy, I'm a loser because I don't have enough money. Or we tell ourselves these terrible, terrible stories. Or maybe we were told these things. So you want to reframe your story. When you're living a double life, reframe the story you tell yourself. Instead of thinking, I'm living a lie, try, I'm doing the best I can in a space that doesn't fully accept me yet. I'm doing the best I can in a space that doesn't fully accept me yet. This shift can move from self-blame to increased self-compassion. Because if you were in a system where you were fully able to live your life, you wouldn't even be feeling these feelings. That's why my hope is, in calling this out, this double life, everyone BSing everybody, can we just open it up so that future generations won't have to go through this? so that we can all come together as a community, affirming the artist, affirming the musician, affirming the woman that loves the woman, affirming the man that loves the man, to affirm the couple, the man who's emotional with his wife, or the wife, affirm her when she says, no, I don't want to live with your toxic, abusive, horrible mother. Can we affirm her? Can we get to a place where we can affirm these people for living the life to be in their joy? We're not there yet as a community, but can we get there? This is where we move towards that. But we can't do that unless each person can reframe your story, telling yourself a different story. And number 8, and this is the last one, and I want to be careful in my words. You want to work towards your wholeness at your own pace. Your pace, no one else's. Only when you are ready for you to deserve the life where you don't have to split yourself in two. Healing is possible. There are no victims in this community. None. Healing is possible. I'm an example of that. There were so many people in the comments that they expressed healing is possible. However, it takes time, support, and inner work. Nothing is going to change unless you do the inner work. And you can move towards greater alignment. That's that micro authenticity. Just each day, you tell yourself a different story. You find the friends that affirm you. You do the things that bring you joy and you being in your wholeness. And with each small step, you make peace with your story. You honor who you are. And you will start to create a life, and that's what you do now. You start to create a life that's in alignment with your values in the spaces you can control. But so many of you are trying to control your family to see you and to hear you and direct, and you're putting all this energy into people who are invested in not seeing you. So if you need to play the game and you need to have the double life, honor that wisdom within you until you can create the life that you want, have your chosen family, your chosen community, and then your financial stability, your maybe you need to move away and create community to live the life that you want, but you have to put the oxygen mask on you first. You need to be in a place, instead of survival, to thriving, and that takes time. You get to choose when and where to be fully seen. And if you have a partner who loves you and affirms you and you're terrified of having him or her see you, this is an opportunity for you to lean into your vulnerability. Lean into it, because they may be asking you and begging you, I need to see you. And you're running for the hills because you're so ashamed. Gently talk to them and say, I am afraid to show you these parts of me. And if they're a loving partner, they'll say, I got you. You also want to connect with, what does wholeness feel like in your body? Many of us didn't even, I can honestly tell you, I just started feeling that wholeness in my body. I told a friend of mine, I said, I'm 54 years old, all this healing, everything I've done. And for the first time in my life, I feel like, wow, my mind, my body, my spirit, my faith, how I move day to day, I can finally feel that. And it's incredible. Like I said, it took 30 plus years of intensive work to get to where I am. So this is where please be patient with yourself. Remember, you don't have to break down the walls overnight. Just find a way to leave the door open.
Wow. I know we need to wrap up, but that's amazing. Thank you for everything you shared.
Well, thank you, everybody. I hope I gave you some tips and ways to cope with living a double life within our cultural context. Know that you can always come to this community to be seen, heard, validated, affirmed, uplifted. We got you. Nawar to nawar. The light within me sees the light within you, and in turn, together, our light will shine for a better world, breaking generational trauma and cycles so that we can come together as a community, as an Arab community, a strong Arab community, to be the change we want to see in our world. I wish you all the very best. Have a wonderful evening and a great day. And we'll see you next Wednesday on Wadah Wednesday.
Yeah,
And we're going to talk about,
I'm sorry, I need to just add something because someone
Yeah.
just said something that really touched me. Pearl said you have shed a light I've never seen before. Right, when you were talking about nawar to nawar. I mean, yeah, thank you. And we've got some comments about people asking for Arabic subtitles. We already do that. All our videos are translated. Yes, during the live, we can't add the subtitles. But if you need to understand anything, let me know. I speak Arabic fluently. I'm from Egypt, so please let me know. I'll make sure to translate. And we have also Jay and Alpha asking about the support group. The link is in the bio. Someone asked, where is the link? It's in the bio. You can find it under website. You can find everything about the support group. And if you'd like me to share with you any more detail about it, you please just DM me your email and I'll make sure to send you the document with all the details.
It's in 2 days. Join us.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good time, really good time. And if you really want to learn about yourself within a group context, this is the place to do it. Anything else, Mira? Thank you, Habibti. You're the best. You keep me going. You're amazing.
Thank you.
And thank you to all the amazing people on the live. Thank you for your energy. And again, next Wednesday, self-righteous behavior. Think about it. Who are all the self-righteous people? And it could be you. All right, you guys, have a good one. Next Wednesday, 8 a.m. Have a good one.